Tony Kinnett with presidential candidate Marianne Williamson. How do you think the strike is going today from what you've seen so far?
I think it's very exciting. You can feel the energy. These people are intent. I think that the role of Shawn Fain, his leadership, the quality of his leadership, cannot be overestimated. He has people pumped up, ready to go, confident, strong, and clearly, I mean, they've already started to, they're on a trajectory of success, and I wish them well.
A lot of the picketers out here have told me that they think that visits by Biden yesterday, by Trump this evening, by other presidential candidates and candidates in general can kind of feel a bit performative, kind of like it's a bit of a photo op. How would you respond to that criticism being a presidential candidate at a picket line?
You're damned if you do, if you're damned if you don't. I think it's important for politicians who support the strike to be here, because this is a way you demonstrate your values where you go. And if you're not here, they'll say, I didn't even bother to show up at the picket line. Now, let's be very clear about what you just said. President Trump is not coming here today to support the strike. He is going to a non-union plant. So he's going to get the photo op of being in Detroit today, but he's not here to support the strike.
Right. Well, Biden wasn't here either yesterday. He wasn't at this specific location. He went to a smaller 70-person.
But he was at a union. But he was supporting. He was on the picket line with union members striking. That's the point, and that is not where President Trump will be. He's not going to a union plant.
So the last question that I really want to ask you, and the kind of question here comes from someone who grew up in a Midwestern family, who grew up in a union home. What kind of support over the last 8 years, because you say you're out here, you say you're supporting unions, what kind of support over the last 8-10 years have you shown to unions? Have you encouraged picket lines before? I mean, that's a real question.
Interestingly enough, I was here actually as a non-denominational minister at a church in Warren, Michigan from 2008 to from 1998 to 2006. And the gentlemen who I know, who are union members, I knew then. So very much I was very involved, not with strikes at that time, but with union workers. And I was actually very up close and personal in seeing on a daily basis, actually, the devastation that was wrought by an economy that clearly had gone south for the working people of the United States. I grew up at a time in the 1970s, the average American worker could afford a house, could afford a home, could afford a car, could afford a yearly vacation, and could afford to send their kids to college. I'm old enough to have seen the decline in the economic status of the average working American. And when I was here in Warren, Michigan, I was up close and personal, and I saw it. And actually, it was a very radicalizing experience for me, because my experience had been working with people who had gotten devastating news in their lives. The test results came back and it was cancer, or their child is on heroin, or the horrible things that happen in people's lives.
Right.
But it was when I came here, and I knew so many people working here in these industries, where I saw how many people were really suffering on a chronic level due to bad public policy and due to bad corporate policy. So I was very up close and personal, and it really changed my views about the U.S. economy and took me to a place where I would not only run for president, but definitely be here today.
So kind of moving through what you kind of propose, because you're running for the highest office in the land, what's the policy at the top of mind for you that would make an impact on the Midwestern American who may or may not be a fan of policies at the current time or maybe in the last decade?
Well, we definitely need the PRO Act. We need sectoral bargaining. We need a more robust, and this I'll give the president credit for, he is trying to beef up the NLRB. The NLRB under Biden, I think, has a positive effect, but you obviously need more resources, because what's happening here with the UAW is obviously, as everybody knows, part of a larger labor regeneration going on now, and they need more support. But I think that the direction, we're heading in the right direction. There are people standing up. There's union busting, whether it has to do with Amazon, whether it has to do with Starbucks. People are seeing it. People are seeing the oligarchs, as they say, whether it has to do with the Jeff Bezoses of the world, the Howard Schultz of the world. And people are saying, no more. And they're right. It's simply not right for people in this country. Making money is a good thing. That's a good thing. Creating wealth is a good thing. But no one should want to feel that I'm creating wealth at the expense of other people having a chance to. That's not a righteous economy. That's not a moral economy. And when I was growing up, there was a sense that all the stakeholders mattered. The stockholders mattered, but so did the workers, so did the community, so did safety. And we have now moved so far in the direction of just support for the stockholders. When I was growing up, stock buybacks were not even legal. CEOs paid by stock options wasn't even legal. Things have just gone too far, and people know it, and people are standing up, and they're going to win this fight because America's ready to balance itself and have a more moral economy.
Thank you for your time.